just a quick one. I've seen people alleging, maybe it comes from JZ and other people who allege that elections might be rigged, what, and to the credit of Julius Malema, he has lost many elections. He has not lost conferences. He prides himself without losing conferences. But when it comes to elections, he generally accepts losses. He takes losses. And I think the reason he does that is maybe he's genuine. And I know people who don't like Julius Malema don't see him as genuine because typically by nature of politicians, they are not genuine people. And I've stated many times about the flip-flopping nature of Julius Malema. And all politicians should actually flip-flop, especially if a matter is not a matter of principle. It's best when you flip-flop, you explain your flip-flopping, what has changed your mind, or the position that you held before was misinformed, or new information has come forth, and so you have flip-flopped. So, but politicians, they find it very hard to do that. I do that a lot. I will tell you why I flip-flopped, and if I change my mind, and because maybe I don't hold any public office, and it's not difficult for me to change my mind. The same way that I say, if I criticize you today, doesn't mean I'll applaud you the next day. But here's the thing. Let's talk about IEC. If you've never, if just when you vote, make sure you do this. It might not be the same in everywhere you vote, but the basics. Let me just show a picture here of a basic structure of an electoral system. Of IEC, the way IEC wants to do it. Maybe I'll find the picture. I'll put it here. But basically what happens is political parties, you see those political parties who sit at desks and stuff. Let me tell you one of the things they're doing. They've got party agents sitting inside IEC. You don't want to call them observers because it's not fashionable. Those volunteers are actually observers. They are observing the process. For example, they bring stats every time people come in. Let's say EFF or DA. Let's talk about the DA table. A DA table will consist of people sitting like us. Whenever people are going in, they might count 5 people went in. Between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, 5 people went in. They corroborate that with someone who's a party agent of DA, that side. And all our political parties, they also have their agents sitting there. They say between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, 5 people came in. When an hour passes, they bring that stats, they corroborate, it makes sense. They take it, they send it to their center. At the end of the day, let me tell you how that works. At the end of the day, because I'm trying to spare you the whole process. At the end of the day, what they end up doing this. If that VD, that's the voting district, declares that 50 people voted, those volunteers who are sitting on the table that you take them for granted, they've got stats that corroborate what IEC produces. And it doesn't even end there. During vote counts, when they do the ballots, it's an open process. Everyone sits, they sit there. They count one by one while everyone is sitting. They count, okay, this is Action SA, this is DA, this is blah, blah, blah. Everyone sees those things. I know there are glitches and administrative errors whenever that is done. You'd find some ballot papers being thrown, people throwing cases, but people who do not participate in democratic processes are easily swayed and controlled. But I've said maybe get employment or go and volunteer in political parties just to go how the IEC works. And the IEC is one of the most transparent parties, to an extent that you'll realize why political parties accept defeat. And I'm not saying there's no foul play in IEC. I'm just telling you the most basic. So if DA in that table said 50 people voted in day one, well, maybe these days we vote on one day. If 50 people voted, and those people who voted, it collaborates with what IEC said because they saw them coming in. Because maybe there might be variants of 3 or something. You can imagine if that DA table recorded 50 people who came, and that VD says 150 people voted, that variance, it's enough to allow DA to go and declare dispute and demand proof. Where are these people? Let's see them on the ballot box. You understand? And the voters' roll must indicate that in that VD, maybe 60 people are eligible to vote. How come did you have 150 people? So it's stuff like that. So if you don't understand it, it will be easy. It will be easy for you to be lied to say elections were rigged. This, and I'm not saying it doesn't. But when you understand the process, it makes it easy to accept defeat and to accept. Because what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to avoid people after elections, whether it's ANC's, DA, or it's EFF, going into war, mobilizing you because you have not seen how the process works. Then you are told it's easy to win elections, but you must then ask them how. Where was the glitch and how was it done? Because political parties have a right to have party agents inside to see the whole process, do their own checks and balances, come out with stats that are mostly matching whatever that election system is. It's solid. It's solid. That's why the IEC goes to many African countries to go and impart this knowledge and make sure that they conduct independent electoral process. But anyway, this is just me. I'm saying it at the backdrop of people think it's easy to throw elections. So throwing elections, I'm using wrong words here. Rigging elections is much more difficult in an open process like the IEC. But free and fair elections, it's not difficult because, for example, if a political party sends people at the gate who just stand and they are looking at people who are going to vote, those people intimidate people not to go and vote. Like it happens, we had rumors of that happening in Zimbabwe. They said in this area we don't vote, and they go and send their marshals there. Can you imagine if your family, if you heard that you are going to vote there, and you know people who are sitting there, they say people must not go and vote. You are not going to vote because after the election they're going to victimize you and your family. So you're not going to vote. So that is not free and fair elections. So other parties, instead of rigging elections, they would do that. They will come to your family because IEC is not there. People are not there. They will tell you that you guys must not go and vote because we don't trust you. You might vote the other people that we don't want. And if we see you going and vote, you will understand. So they could do it. Even if you open cases, you might find that police, blah, blah, blah. So it's rare to happen in South Africa. So, but I'm not an election expert, and this is not election advice. I'm just throwing things at random just so we maybe we can come to an understanding that, and of course, I'm always open, politically incorrect. I'm always open to be corrected. Sit on the, I know Mr. Lechisa. Lechisa, by the way, tell me where you watching us from, and other comrades who comment on this, so we could know where you're from. Maybe we could take your voice notes, we come and put it here where you disagree with us so we can engage, we do a reaction, we come and engage, and many others, and I see you guys there. Let's talk, because I believe the electoral process is so solid. It's not easy to rig. Free and fair election, that's something else.